My name is Love K. Sean. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Oral Therapy Podcast. Today, our topic will be gender roles and responsibilities. I have two special guests to help me with this topic. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we'll get started with the questions.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Steve. Put away Steve. What's going on? I'm a YouTuber. I'm also on TikTok, content creator. I'm also barber. Soon to get my license here. So yeah.
My name's Sir. My nickname Swang. I rap. I go by Sir Swang. Got a lot of music in the works. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. So this is an interesting topic right now just because I feel like a lot of people have different opinions about the topic. I am definitely one that I think has a very different view from most women in our society. But I'm going to start off by asking you, gentlemen, what you feel the role of a man is and roles and responsibilities of a man in today's time.
A man,
like gender standard roles.
Like in a relationship?
In a relationship, in society,
just
You can go anywhere with it, but just let me know.
In the year 2021 right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you feel?
All right, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
I mean, I think it still go back to the basic traditional, provider, protector, just teacher. You got to teach
right.
your kids, got to teach your woman, you got to give love, you got to give a lot of love. Yeah, that's about it. You got to be honest, you feel me, hardworking. Yeah, I think that's...
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing, too. It's just, all about that love. It's all about that guidance, that protection, the traditional, way of, every man should do. And every man, it comes to mind when they have a woman or a family. They want to be able to guide, protect, show that love, and, do for the family. Say, hey, look, I did this for my family so they can leave something behind. Have their family and their children or a girl talking about what they did in the past, or whenever they leave this earth. But times today, a lot of men are not really keeping up with themselves, and I think that we lost that. So, but those are the things that,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think those are very good points. I didn't think about teaching, which is really so true. Even as a woman, it's our job to teach certain things.
Yeah.
And I didn't even consider the fact that men do teach us a lot of things, or their role is.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't assume the responsibility, and so certain things don't get passed on or taught that are supposed to, especially coming from the man. A woman can teach you certain things in place of a man, but it's not the same thing. And I definitely believe in energy, so I like both of your views on what a man is supposed to be, but like you said, I think that we got lost in translation somewhere. For a woman, I think our job is to emotionally invest in our children and our men, and also invest in ourselves. I think if we do that for ourselves, it comes innately for the people that we love. We just are lovers, and we're emotional, so that's perfect for us. But I also think that it's a woman's job to also help keep the household strong, to keep her relationship strong, to keep her family strong as well. I don't think that it's solely on the men. I think that we do have different responsibilities, but it's important for us to both play those roles and kick in to make sure that the foundation is strong. And I think women have lost a lot of that as well. And it's also important for us to uphold values. And I think that's kind of skewed too. But go ahead.
I was just wanted to add something. I feel like the roles could always switch at the same time.
Yeah.
Because as a woman, she want to protect her family and her man.
Yeah.
She can take her man out to lunch. It's not all about the man got to pay for everything all the time. The woman could treat her man the same way he treat her.
Yeah, I think it's important.
That is true, but I believe it is 50-50 in different categories into the relationship. But I'm gonna tell you this right now: a man should always give more, but a woman is always gonna give more, 100%. Because if that's a good man, a woman, she gonna dress good. She gonna look good. She gonna make the household look good. She gonna make sure her man eat. She gonna make sure she's smelling good. You know, and a man, all he's gonna do is guide, protect. But a woman is gonna give more than anything. You know, and on top of that, she'll even to the point your car break down. Here, babe, I'm gonna give you some money. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You know.
Yeah.
But the man's supposed to do all that. You know. But a woman always gonna give more. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
facts.
I think a good woman will. I think you're right. Yeah. We overall have more to put into it.
True.
Men in today's society and in the past carry the financial load. So it seems like more because you have to work more, you have to pay more. But if I'm homemaking, if I'm cooking, cleaning, and raising children, and even if we don't have children, like I'm making sure that your life is easier on the back end, then I'm just as valuable as you as a worker. I think it's changed now because a lot of people do the 50-50. And so then women are like, okay, I'm helping you work, so I'm carrying half of that financial load. Like, let's see like how you can kick in with the house. And I think there are ways to you know, help and support without you physically having to do it, but we'll get into that in the later questions. But yes, it should be 50-50. If you're not paying bills, then I feel like you should be kicking in 100% in the household, because then that's 50. Financially, you're taking care of it. Homemaking, I'm taking care of it. And if it's switched, it's switched. I mean, some people, they don't care if their dude's at home, but if you're at home, then you should be doing the things that make the home come together while I make the money, like if the roles are switched. And that's fine with me, but hey.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to dig deeper to it, but you really need to realize this too. People see differently.
Yeah.
People's past was different.
Yeah.
And also
And people are raised different.
Yeah.
Different. That's
You know?
another thing. Like, it's what you see is what you pass on, and it's what you only know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, facts.
And your personalities too. But
Yeah.
I wanted to get deeper, but
So,
I know we're going to dig deeper into it.
Before we talk about how the role has changed over time, let's talk about how people were raised, since you brought up a really good point. Like, people, a lot more single families are in the picture now. So you don't have a man in the household, or you have men that come and go. And so you don't have that stability. So you're seeing that. So when you grow up, you're okay with instability because you're comfortable with it. You've seen it all your life. So you don't have that strong foundation that we talked about before, where the woman and the man are both kicking in. Like, how do you think that's affecting how people are now? Because I think now people seeing their parents struggle or their single mother struggle, now everybody wants to go out and get the money, get the bag. It's about getting the bag, getting the bag, getting the bag. And at times, like, I feel like people are willing to accept whatever, go through whatever, say F whoever to get that bag. Like, the value in oneself, the moral in oneself has gone away so much because everybody's like, I refuse to be my mother, or I refuse to be my father. So much so, or my family, because some people's families are in general like that. I refuse to be that so much that I'm going to say fuck the values and the morals that I was brought up to believe in, even though I didn't see people practicing those. Like, and people believe in hypocrisy, and they see, like, you know, you taught me not to do this, but you were doing this, Mom. You taught me not to say that, but you were saying that. So how do you think that has played a role in how things have changed? Or how do you think we can kind of still teach our youth to be better without, like, with them seeing the social media stuff, with them seeing how we move? Because if I see it, I know the young kids see it. Like, people don't care anymore about values and like, well, OnlyFans. That's a thing. So how do you feel about that type of stuff?
Shoot, if a girl or woman, young woman, got a solid father figure in her life, seeing all that don't change. It's not gonna really, you know, because her dad raised her. You know, every girl needs a daddy, like, in their life. It's like boys need their mama, you know. So I just feel like if the girl don't have, that's when she can be looking for love in all the wrong places. And so she might end up doing stuff like that. But, you know, it's all about it all go back to how you raised.
Yeah.
That's true.
What do you think could help a woman like that? Like, say she don't have her father in her life, and now we have all this influence. Like, people are getting paid to influence us.
She should look for love in her family. Like, if she don't have a dad, you know, she should find an uncle that she can depend on, that she can confide in and get advice from. If she don't have that, she might have a cousin that's way older that can help guide her. I just feel like that's a wiser way to, you know, because you don't really know what you're getting out here. You know, it's crazy. So
Yeah, it is crazy. What do you think about it?
And I'm glad that you said all that because what popped in my mind, it was like, how many marriages have you been to in your life right now? Can you count
A weddings?
Yeah, wedding. Weddings. Sorry about that.
One.
One. And the reason why you said that is because nowadays, I think our generation, you know, we are worrying about self. We are caring about like what we can do, you know, and a lot of us are like lonely. A lot of us are lonely. And the reason why we're lonely is because of the fact that we've seen in our past is how we were raised. And yes, I do agree with like if a woman is growing up in a household without a father, she doesn't know how to love a man, you know. But then also you need both parents in a household.
Yeah, you do.
Because you need to know what a woman does for a man, but you need to know how to love a man and see how a man treats a woman, you know, and treats your mother. So that way you can be like, oh, well, this is how it's supposed to go. Now, you're not supposed to live the life because I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like them women that be like, oh yeah, my dad was like this, so you gotta treat me like this. Like, no. But in a way, it's like you need to see that visual of like how a man and a woman
Can
interact with each other. And I think that when a woman has that, especially when a man has that in her life, they do a whole lot better in life. But if you don't have that and you're living in a single parent household or a broken home, whatever type of person that was raising you, you mislead things in life and you kind of fumble a lot of things in life where you kind of end up broke. You don't know how to manage money right. You don't know how to talk to people right. You don't know how to be in a relationship. And you end up single, lonely, and depressed.
Yeah.
and we carry a lot of childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma. That's a big thing.
And people don't get help for it. I
Nope.
think
That
therapy is like the number one reason why people don't heal, because they don't believe in getting help outside of their family.
That's true.
Unbiased help, because it's definitely necessary. So with the gender role kind of shifting from the past, like, what do you think was lost in translation? I want to see, like, what do you guys feel was a benefit or good thing about how our grandparents or our great grands were and versus us now? Like, what do you think we should bring back? Like, I know that I was speaking to some men and they were saying, like, women cooking, like, that's like a thing of the past almost, where women cook every night. And, but like I said in the beginning, like, if I'm working, I don't want to go home and cook. I'm that type of woman, like, damn, like, some days it's a good day for me and I can go home and cook. But what about the days that are hard at work, where you're like on your feet all day, you're ripping and running, and then you don't want to come home and cook? So how do you?
Yeah,
like, I keep jumping in.
No. Look, we talking.
Yeah, you can talk freely. So.
Cause I know I'm gonna get my. But no, I just feel like my grandpa and like both my grandpas, my grandparents, they both was not married. So I don't know the meaning of like
marriage.
What it's like marriage. Now I don't know what the meaning of is like the see what it's like in the past for their time. But my mom and dad wasn't married. But my stepdad, he was around. But all I can say is that, how can I say it? Damn, I just went blank. All I can say is that what we can do is look back in time. If a woman is cooking for a man, then a man should do the same, because you are a team. But a lot of men don't look for a team player. A lot of men want to do, what they want to do. They don't look for a woman to do everything. And some men are like that. But I feel like if a woman is cooking for a man, then he should do other things that will take a role for his woman.
Like clean up after me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if
I agree with that.
And if you're saying that you're tired and you feel like you don't want to go right ahead and cook because you had a long day of work, then that man should take up and be like, hey, look, I'm gonna cook for you, because I'm that type of man where I'm gonna cook.
We're gonna take turns doing it.
We're gonna take turns doing it.
I think it's fair, but what's the situation where I'm gonna let you answer it, but like, what's the situation where both of you guys don't feel like it, and then because there are some men who feel like no matter what you do, like you still should come home and cook, you still should come home and clean. Like you could have 2 kids you have to take care of, you still work. Like they don't see that. Hey, like this whole role thing is kind of skewed because I'm financially carrying a load as well as you. Like I'm not just at home to take care of the kids and clean. If I was, then maybe that high expectation you have would be realistic. But like I'm doing some of the working too. Yeah. And like I know you men have come home from work and like I'm gonna just heat up some TV dinners or a Hot Pocket and eat some chips because I don't feel like doing much more than that. Or sometimes you go home and you don't eat because that's how busy and tired that you can be. So if you feel like that as a man, women, we don't feel too much different. Our tired is the same as your tired. So what is the solution? Because like, or what? How could you help those relationships? Because there are a lot of men who still feel and have that expectation like, my woman doesn't even cook. Well, does your woman work? Yeah, but she's a woman. She's supposed to cook. Okay, well, she can't be tired. She can't have a day off. Like, you can't have food delivered or, like, you can't cook this day. Like, they do not believe in that. So what do you say to them, or how do you help those people, like, to see that we're all human, we all get tired, there has to be a kick in from you as another man?
I mean, it boiled down to how much y'all care for each other. Like,
yeah,
you know,
that's
some
true.
people, like he was saying a little while ago, like a lot of people are about themselves, you know. But if you really truly care about somebody, you gonna look out for them. You know, you ain't just gonna say, oh well, you know, you gonna say, hey, you know, it ain't nothing wrong with the woman letting him know, hey, I don't feel like cooking today. What should we do? Should we get
Pizza
Chinese?
night or what?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to cook every night
day.
because that to what you said, that was a good point as far as how women, a lot of them work just as much as the men. Like back in the day, women didn't work.
Exactly.
They stayed at home. The man worked. And he provided. So it was like the roles was laid out. But times change and, you know, things change. So we can't have the same expectation of the same, you know, how we did things in the past to work now because it's different. So that was a good point that you made.
Yeah. Communication works on all ways.
Do you think that our older generation is like hurting the mindset of certain men and women? Because you still have older women who still believe like a man is supposed to do this, a man is supposed to do that, or a woman is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do that, but they're not like really fully evaluating the whole situation where like, okay, yeah, granny, like you think a man is supposed to do this and a woman is supposed to be cooking and cleaning, but I work now, like you didn't work. So it's different for me because I should go home and want to clean the house. Like, and I want to clean house. Like, you know, most women do. I mean, some don't, but if you are that type of woman, you want to live in a clean environment. You want to be like, I desire to be that woman, but I cannot be traditional and still work and still try to have a business and still try to, you know, like it's hard to be that traditional person if you have all these other things going on. But you have a lot of older generations still pushing that narrative that like women and men are supposed to have these roles because they come from a generation where that was true, but they don't realize that things have kind of changed. The dynamic has changed because women have more rights in this day and age. Women are more independent in this day and age. So how can we help people to kind of get out of that mind? Because a lot of people believe that. Like a lot of men and women still believe. I watched a show where a woman stated, you're a man, you're supposed to take care of the bills. Even if I work, you pay for all the bills. No. And I think it's crazy. Like,
it just depends on the circumstances, I feel like, you know.
Like there are women who think even though you both work, like you're still supposed to pay all the bills and then I just collect my check. I guess.
Nah, I don't agree.
Or pay small bills and then, you know, be able to like, but I think that causes resentment because like if you're paying all the bills and, you know, maybe you have your girl pay some of the smaller bills and then like the homemaking stuff, she's still going to want you to help her cook and clean. So you're now helping her cook and clean, and then you helping pay 90% of the bills. You're gonna feel resentful towards her because at the end of the day,
And it ain't
you're
gonna-
doing more.
Yeah,
And it
it's
ain't
true.
gonna keep her, especially nowadays.
Nah.
Like you could pay
Right.
everything, and
And she
she'll
should've-
still be like, "That ain't enough." So maybe if it kept her, then I'll say, "Yeah,
Do it,
we should
yeah.
always pay all the bills." But like,
No.
it just depend on the circumstances and how much y'all got invested in each other and what y'all setup is, you know,
Yeah.
because everybody's situation is different.
That's true. Like, and from the past, like what you said, like a lot of like our grandparents and other people that see it that's a little older, they like don't understand. But I believe that us men today made women act like how they are today, like have that mindset today, because we are the ones that made them like this. You know, we the ones
Facts.
that changed their minds like this. That's why. So if a woman says, "Oh, you're not gonna do this for me, you're not gonna do this or that, you know, you're not gonna clean," okay, well, I don't need you. You know, I can do this all by myself. And then what do they call it? The independent woman. But at the same time, it's like if a man plays that role and does his job and do the things for that woman, she's gonna see and she's gonna learn and she's gonna realize that, damn, this is a good man. You know, and not just a good man, but this is a man that doing things that I don't even have to ask for. I don't have to mention about. I don't even have to talk about. He's doing it for me. And a lot of people from the past, they're not realizing that you're the ones that paint the picture for us to see, like, okay, we don't want to live a life like yours, Grandma. We don't want to live a life like yours, Grandpa. So this is the why I do these things now
And why we move differently.
and why we move differently.
Yeah.
You paint that picture.
Yeah, I think a lot goes into it, but I think an independent woman came from dealing with men who didn't understand their role. I think that's why I will never say I'm a feminist, because I'm not a feminist. Because I do believe in male and female roles, and I do believe in some of the traditional values that, you know, come from the past, but I do believe in the modern values as well. Like, I am realistic. But the independent woman, the feminist woman came along from dealing with men who didn't uphold those same values or didn't understand their roles or didn't understand the assignment, and they kind of feel failed. Like, you get into this relationship, this romantic relationship where you're being lied to by this man, you end up getting pregnant by them, having a child, they bail out on the situation. Now your whole idea of love in a man has changed because that person was not a person who understood the role or lived it to the expectations that you had for the role of a man. So now everything has been skewed. So that's why independent women came along. Like 90% of women don't want to be independent. Who doesn't want to be taken care of? Who doesn't want to be spoiled? Who doesn't want to be a woman? If they're living a life like a woman, you want to conduct yourself as a woman. But a lot of distrust came. So I mean, like, a lot of healing needs to happen from them. But I want to ask, like, what do you think a traditional man and woman are? Because people still call themselves traditional, but then when you look up the traditional definition or a traditional role for a man and woman, like, what people are today are different. Like, I can't call myself a traditional woman if I work. You know, if I have a child, you know, and I'm not married, you know, if I'm not married, if I'm not a virgin, like, a traditional woman will be a virgin who doesn't have a child, who doesn't work, who wants to find a husband and be that homemaker. Like, that's a traditional woman.
Yeah,
but, like,
that's true.
what do you think a traditional man is? Because the definition and how because there are people who will swear up and down that they're traditional, and I'll be like, you're not traditional. If you have a child and you're with another man, and even if you marry that second man, if you had a child before him, you're not a traditional woman. You can be, by definition. Now, if you want to believe it in your head, then believe it in your head. But what do you think a traditional man is, and how people perceive it now, or how it's changed now? Because a traditional man is different from today's time versus the past.
Like, I do believe that all traditions is broken. Like, we're all broken that tradition. But a traditional man is supposed to have, you know, his, like, a hard working job, supposed to have a car, a nice working car, supposed to be able to provide for himself, supposed to have money in his bank account, supposed to have good credit, and it's be able to have good communication with people from like all different like angles. Like, all right, I know somebody that can build a house. I know somebody that can fix a car, or if not, I can fix my own car. You know, because those are the traditional men that if you've seen from the past in movies and stuff like that, and old families, they know how to do certain things. They know how to get their hands dirty. Very, very handy. I feel like a traditional man saves money for his family, even if he doesn't have a family yet, but he's going to save money anyway. Because, you know, from the past, I always hear like, oh, these are going to be for my children when I do have some. Like, what? Like, you're not going to spend the money on you? But these are the traditional men. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty. They're not afraid to find the perfect woman and wait for that perfect woman in his life and marry her. Those are the men that is going to be able to get on one knee and say, hey, look, will you marry me? You know, build that home for him, his family. Those are the traditional men. So,
what do you think a traditional man is?
Man, I can't. He hit every point. I mean,
yes, that's very true too.
I agree with everything he said.
Me too. And so, being that said, we don't have a lot of those type of men running around, and we definitely don't have a lot of women who are virgins, who don't have children already, don't have, you know, or even like aren't working. Like, they're, if they are like that, they're usually in the church, you know, living for God, and so you don't equal to what they want as a traditional man anyways if you're not living that same lifestyle. So how do we come up with our own concept? And like, because what I want to do here is like try to show and like bring to light some of the issues to try to change some of the ways people think for the better. Like, I think that something needs to be said about how people are lazy. Like, men and women are both lazy. Like, there's a lazy disease going around where it's pushed to live off somebody, like to scam, to like, there's so many things that are pushed on us. Like, what we talk about scammers, but and then everybody hates to be scammed. You wouldn't want to be scammed. You wouldn't want to be scammed, but like,
shit, I done been scammed a couple times.
I've been scammed.
I ain't gonna front. You feel me?
I've been scammed too, but like,
it is what it is.
It's never fun when it's you. But
yeah,
girls talking about their
hey,
own
but it
scammers.
wasn't no turn no $40 to $400 or $4,000 though. It wasn't nothing stupid like that.
Oh my god, those people irritate me.
You're like, damn, I
didn't do nothing like that.
And you feel robbed. You feel raped. Like, it's like, damn, I feel like my bank account was violated.
Let me go to my phone.
Yeah, like, let me delete some shit. Yeah. But it's like the narrative to be like a woman about their bag, but they don't push like, okay, OnlyFans. Like, there's so many things that are so toxic to the roles of men and women. Like, you want to do OnlyFans, but then you want a man who's loyal to you. You wanna be a scammer, but you want your girl to be loyal to you. You ain't loyal to yourself. Like, you ain't loyal to a society. And yes, people say, oh, we're old this and then we're just robbing the people who rob us. Okay. But there's another way to go about it. And as long as there's another way, I feel like you doing it the wrong way is just, there's no excuse for that. Like, you can choose to do right and build a brand and grow and elevate and then help people get out of the situations that you feel like they're being robbed from, or, you know, we having to open our hands to get support from the government or whatever you feel. But I don't feel like there's a need for it. So, like, I honestly feel like, how can we change this? Because social media is going to do one thing. It's going to make...
That's the problem.
It's going to make or break us.
Yes.
Either we're going to be strongly fucked up and broken from social media, or we can use it to elevate ourselves. Like,
it's like women out here, they making more than they man, but yet they jump on social media and they see... what's her name? Ari, G Herbo, baby, talking about, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna pay no type of rent, nothing. You paying all the bills, and they like, yeah, he should pay all the bills, but it's
you
like,
ain't Ari.
And it's like, you gotta contribute to what you want. You know, you can't just, especially if you make it more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think a woman should always consider her situation. Like, I can't look at Rihanna's life and be like, oh, Rihanna never touches a napkin. I'm not going to touch a napkin. Like, or I'm not going to pick up anything off the floor. Like, I'm not Rihanna. I don't have that money. Like, my baby daddy ain't G Herbo, so I'm not going to move like that. Like, if you don't have the money, don't move. Like,
and it's women losing good men
because
they trying to live life like celebrities, and they feel like the man's supposed to be really treating, if he really don't got it, but he 95% cover everything else, that's still a good man. Everybody not rich.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It's about living at your means. Like, a lot of people want to live above their means so fast, but they don't want to do the work to get there.
That's so true. Nobody wants to put in the work. And I feel like what y'all said on social media, that goes back and leads back to everybody is very selfish. Everybody wants to care about themselves and not worry about the next person.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to see nobody on top of them. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't want to see you on top of me. I don't want to see you on top of me. But also, like, I look on the other side as, look, I'm willing to help. Like, you say you do music, you got this going on, you got other things y'all got going on. I want to see y'all grow. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for everybody. But a woman I'm talking to, I'm not gonna be like, yo, like, I'm not paying for everything, because we talking about celebrities, but we talking about reality, like regular people. What if it's to the point I'm paying everything and you ain't doing nothing? What happens when I leave? What do you have?
Nothing. A lot of
Or
women
what
have
happened
been
when she get tired of you and say, I'm speaking off of experience, but when you paying everything and she say, you know what, it's time to bounce, you know what I'm saying? Like,
after she saved a good
and
penny,
so now it's like,
and now don't need you.
you at
And
rock
then I
bottom
don't
now
need
because you ain't, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have
like,
no
I've been giving
savings.
you everything, you feel me? And
Yeah.
she like, it wasn't enough. So now you back,
At
rock
square
bottom,
one.
gotta rebuild.
Yeah.
But then they turn around, right, when they go low after they spent everything, they be like, so, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Exactly.
No, don't come back.
Deuces.
It's over.
Deuces,
I think you
keep
should
it
never
curved.
help. I think everybody should help each other, and I think that if we especially like in the Black community,
True.
we don't help each other. We don't look out for each other. I think it's changing. I see a lot of people trying to do better about, putting people on and helping and like supporting each other, which is amazing. But we are not, we're nowhere near where we need to be. But like, never help somebody more than you help yourself. Like, if you're helping somebody so much that you're putting them in a better position than you, then you know you're doing too much. And I can speak from experience as well. I was giving everything to a person that I was in a relationship with, to the point where I was sacrificing so much for myself. Like, there are so many things I could have achieved and done that I didn't do because I was taking care of two people and like basically drowning, basically starving to death, because not literally, but like figuratively, financially, because I'm giving all to both people. I have to support you, your habits, your wants, your desires, your needs, and then also myself off of one income. That's not going to work. And it's not fair to do it while you get every money that you make, you get, and you spend on your own self. Like, so just remember, never do that for anybody. And
Yeah,
people online too.
we gotta learn from that. You feel me?
Like, one thing I want to do is make sure people do not do that. Like, a lot of women, and there are a lot of men who do that. Like, you can't sacrifice yourself so much that you
ain't got nothing to give yourself.
Yeah.
You gave it all.
You don't even know yourself. Like, getting out of a long relationship,
Facts.
I was like, who the fuck am I? What do I even like?
Man.
I'm so used to saying, babe, do what you want to eat. I don't even know what I want to eat. Babe, what you want to do? I don't know what I like
That's
to do.
so
You know,
true.
like, I don't know where I want to be.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So it's like really hard to even engage the idea, because I'm scared to be that invulnerable again. I'm scared to be like, give my heart again. It's really hard because, especially if you're a person who gives everything to a relationship, like not everything, but you want to pour your heart out to something. It's hard for you to ever go back there, because once you do it and get burned, you don't ever want to be burned again.
Facts.
That's so true. But you know what, too? If you like that person a lot, if you going through these things, if you going through these thoughts, communication works a long way, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
You should sit that person down and say, hey, babe, look, we're having this issue. I feel like I'm giving all and you're not doing nothing. Can we change something? And do it the adult way. Don't do it childish. Don't do it to the point of like you want to start an argument, because a lot of arguments start like that. Or it's to the point where you're just closed mouth shut and you don't say nothing, and then he's still doing it all and he's draining like you said, and you don't know nobody, and you're like so used to like being around that person. He be like, hey babe, like what do you want to eat after y'all break up and stuff. But you need to really communicate with that person, and let them know like, yo, like what's up, like,
What
are you doing?
happens, that's beautiful. And for perfect land, that's perfect. But if you don't have a mature partner, what do you do?
Yeah.
Because some people find an argument in everything. Well,
Yeah.
why you've been doing it, why can't you do it anymore? Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you, like, you
Well,
don't love me the same? You don't.
Yeah.
People will either manipulate Or I don't even
Kevin Gates, he made a good point recently on an interview. He said two people either grow together or grow apart, and that's what it is. It ain't gonna go no other way. You either gonna grow together or you gonna grow apart.
True.
So if you can understand that, it'll help in that situation as well. Because understanding, you definitely need understanding at all times.
Yeah.
Do you think there are responsibilities that a man or a woman will have permanently? Like, I know a lot of people are like, take out the trash is a man's job, or, whatever. Do you think there's certain roles that are just going to be stuck with men or women?
Not no more. I don't think so.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I done talked to girls, and, like, don't get me wrong, I'll take out the trash. But you go inside their household, and you be like, what's that smell? Like, yo, you let that trash shit here all freaking day.
Waiting for me?
Like, you waited for me to do this? Like, yo, I went to work. I probably went to the gym. I probably went shopping, do something. Yo, that's the smell of you having the trash there? And sometimes, no. Like, I can't.
I'm dumping my trash before my house smells like trash.
That's good.
But, yeah, but that's because, like I said, the older generation is beating in their head. Like, if they feel, there's some people who feel like, if I dump this trash, then I'm not gonna, like, he's not being a man, and I'm stepping into the man role. Or, like, they're psychologically so programmed to believe that if they do something outside of their little bubble or their responsibility or role, it becomes, they're losing, or I'm not getting enough from him, or like they will trick themselves to believe the relationship is negative if they have to dump the trash one time, and that's. But crazy.
I mean, I won't lie. Like, if I'm with somebody, I don't ever expect them to touch the trash. To be honest, like, but that's just me personally, But on a general note,
things have changed. Yeah,
the roles can always be switched. I'll do the dishes. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't mind coming home, and if you have cooked, like, I don't mind cleaning up, and even that includes dumping trash if I have to. Or say you cleaned and the house is clean but you didn't dump the trash, I can't dump the trash. Like, I just feel like the fairness of the roles is kind of like, they don't, like, you can be so into what you're supposed to do and what a man is supposed to do that you kind of miss the bigger thing. Like, okay, yeah, he didn't dump the trash, but my babe washed the dishes, he vacuumed the floor, the bed is made. Like, there are 7 other things that he did, but he didn't dump the trash. I can't be mad and be like, you didn't dump the trash, because that makes him feel invalidated by all the other things that he did. Like,
that's real facts.
Like, you being petty now. I forgot the trash today. Okay, like.
But see, I think that plays all back to how we were raised. Like me, I grew up with my mom early in the morning, Saturday mornings, because I played football and track and everything like that. Early in the morning, Saturday, Sunday mornings, you know what I was doing? Cleaning.
Yep, me too.
And then if I did not clean, I wasn't able to do nothing. I got my PlayStation took it away. I got my TV took it away.
It was bad.
I think that nowadays and age, I think a lot of the newer generation, they don't have that. Like, parents are not involved at all. And it's just like, you walk around now, like somebody's 18, like my younger brother, he's 20 years old. You look at him like, hold on, mom, you raised us and you ain't raised him. Like,
oh my God.
Like, hold
Let's
on,
talk
wait a minute. But at the same time, it's all about how you were raised. And it's all about like how your mentality is. I believe in having a clean household. I believe on, everything is done right. If it's not done right, then it's like, it's a problem for me. And I'm not going to raise hell or anything like that. I'm just going to do the darn thing.
You're going to
myself.
fix it. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to fix it. But that's just because of the fact that in the back of my mind, I still hear my mom till this day, Steven, what are you doing? Steven, this ain't
do it
clean.
right. Yeah,
you ain't doing it right. And it's just like how you were raised. And then if you're doing that person you're with, they see that you're doing this, but it's questionable. Like, how the heck? Why are you like this? It's because I was raised like that. I was raised like that.
Are you an older child? The oldest child?
I am the oldest child.
See, that plays a big role, because what you just said was so real. Me being the oldest child, I was the test dummy,
Yeah.
But I dealt with the most strictness, the most expectations. Like, my mom's expectations of me were so much higher than my siblings, like, because I was the first one. So it was like all of her energy went into like making sure that I didn't do wrong, or I was successful, or I was taught in certain things correctly. And so that's me. Like, I'm very tedious. I'm very particular. I'm very like, and I think it has a lot to do with me being the oldest. And also, like, I believe like energy and astrology comes into play about certain things too. But like,
True.
that hit the hammer on the nail, because these people nowadays are, especially if it's the younger generation. Like my mom is not as strict with my brother as she was with any of my other siblings. Like I can come in, his room is dirty. I don't even remember one time my room ever being dirty, because if it was, I wasn't able to be sitting on the game. Like my older brother would be sitting on the game or like playing, and it's like his room is dirty. I'm like, this is like, is this the same mother that raised me? Because it's so different now. Like
It's way different.
everything is so much more lax. But also you have things that come into role, like, you know, the laws against child abuse and all that. Because I'm pretty sure you can tell me a story where you were quote unquote child abused based on the standard or the definition now versus how these kids have it in this day and age. You can't even really yell at your kid or threaten your kid in the wrong way, or you go to
with
jail.
all type of
I got
Yeah,
stories.
switches off the
we used to have to
tree.
go pick our switch. You feel
Exactly.
me? Go,
But
and
that-
if you pick the wrong one, now you really in trouble because she gotta go
the
get it.
lightest, thinnest one, and now you got to get another one.
Now
That's
you
thicker.
yell at these kids, they ready to.
Yeah, so that plays a big role too. Like
Yes.
you can tell the kids that weren't whooped. You can tell the girls that didn't have mothers who were actually in their lives and actually encouraging them to do better. Like either their mom was hoeing or getting money from men, and that's what they know, and that's how they're gonna live their life forever because that's all they were taught to do with men, or they just weren't disciplined enough. Like some of these people, their behavior is like, what? Like now people are getting robbed left and right. Like instead of being a man and stepping into that role and working, now they're robbing women with their children. Like I seen a video where this woman is just going into her gate from
I
walking her
seen
child, and these
Two
young
dudes.
dudes come and rob her.
Yes.
And it's like, you can't even walk your kid to the park now and go back to your house
you can't
safely.
do that.
That's crazy.
And that leads all to being in a relationship of understanding that person. Like, okay, this is how you act. This is why you do these things.
This is why you're
And-
particular.
And this is why that you clean and you don't have to say nothing. This is why you sometimes it could be a woman where, like you said earlier, this is why you complain so much of how come I ain't taking the trash out. You know,
Because your mother was like,
yeah,
or your family
Yeah,
taught you.
facts.
yeah, this is why. But a lot of us lose that as we get older.
I have a question too, because there's another thing that comes into play. You know, we have people who are in same-sex relationships. So, like, I had a talk with my best friend about, like, how roles change in that, you know, or do they change, or how, like, having a standardized role kind of affects those type of relationships. Like, so what do you guys think? Like, because that's another thing. Like, if I'm a woman who's with a woman, like, I think the reason why there's a lot of other things that go on is because we are so used to somebody having that other role that if we're both taking on the same role, things kind of get skewed. The issues come into play because we're the same sex. Not to say that things are wrong. It's just like having a standard role. Like, and now everybody is like, let's definitely be careful. Let's definitely like, so it's hard to say, okay, men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to do this, because another thing that comes into play, like people feel, okay, you're not living up to that man role because you're a man and you date another man, or you're a woman who dresses like a man, or whatever, you know, however they want to live their life. But that affects how people believe men and women should be. So having a traditional way of thinking can affect, you know, how people then perceive those type of people, because everybody should have the right to, you know, live their life however they live their life. Nobody should be biased against people who have, you know, different sexual orientations. But having a standardized mind causes issues, because nobody, like, I may not agree with people's lifestyles, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt because they want to live their life a certain way. Because I go out every day and live my life how I want to live my life and do what I want to do. So ain't nobody going to stop me. And if they try, then I see why there's an issue. So how do you guys feel about that type of thing? Because it's important, even if, like I said, you don't agree or you agree, or you do feel like whatever, live your life however you want to live your life, having a standardized role affects those type of people too. Because people's mindsets are not changed. So then you do have people being very malicious to people who have different sexual orientations, and that's not fair.
Yeah, that's true. And I gotta watch what I say because I don't want to be like the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Get canceled.
Do not be the baby. Lord Jesus.
at the same time, the way how I look at it, things now is I care less what you do with your life, because everybody needs love. Everybody needs real, genuine love. And if that person give you that love, then go right ahead and go with that person. But I feel like if you're dating the same sex, you do tend to have those problems because a man has a mentality and he plays a role of himself, and a woman plays like, you know, a role of herself. And a man really can't give, like a man can't give another man what a woman can give, and a woman can't give
another woman what a man can give.
So it's only so much that they can do. Only thing that you could probably do is touch, feel, love, but in other parts, it's not much that they can't do. And I'm not saying nobody is not capable of doing anything, because a woman can do the same thing a man can do. But there's a lot of other things like the same sex can't give. You know.
What do you feel?
Man,
no disrespect.
I don't know. I just feel like you said like the way traditional thinking affects same-sex relationships.
As far as like
stuff.
people being malicious to them, like
like
you know,
how they treat people.
So you're a man, you're supposed to be like, if you are like, because there are certain people who dress like women who are men, or like wear certain things that are, you know, or women who are studs and they are fully decked out in like what is considered a man's wardrobe, you know. So
I ain't got
just
a
the
problem.
Malicious part of it, you know. What they do is what they do.
People
but like,
should be allowed to do any and whatever they want to do. Just don't bring it to me or bring it around me, you know. And that's cool, you know. Just be respectful about how you doing what you doing. You know what I'm saying? If you got a sex change, don't be tricking people into thinking you really was born a woman. That's how, you know what I'm saying?
Honest,
so it's just like, if you honest with yourself first and foremost, and you respectable about how you going about it, you know, because some people, they get a little extra with, you know, so just, if you just respectable about how you do what you do, you should have a right to do whatever you want to do.
I believe that too. Okay. One of the things before I have like a quick open discussion, because we only got a couple minutes, but do you think that people take like roles too seriously? Like because one thing is that can come into play in a relationship, let's just say relationship wise, men get insecure. Like, say I'm a woman and I do make more than you. Like, you taking that man role so serious that it causes issues in our relationship, because now you're like you resent me for making more than you, because you feel like as a woman I shouldn't have took that job, or I don't know, like that promotion, because now you make more than me and now there's an issue because I have got a promotion you didn't, or you maybe have just been on your job a year and I have been on longer and now I'm making more than you, or whatever the scenario is. But do you think people take it too serious? Because that type of situation should never occur. Like, you should always be rooting for your partner, but sometimes you taking that role too serious can be a problem. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, people definitely, well, it's like 50-50, I would say, because I don't feel like, you know, I was ever like that, taking it too seriously. Like, a woman could make 10 times more than me. It don't make me feel no less of a man. You feel me? Like,
it shouldn't.
But yeah, a lot of people, I believe, do take it too serious. But times change, you know. So things ain't the way they used to be. So we gotta adapt to, you know, the way of life now. But I believe people take it too seriously. Yeah, in my opinion.
What about you?
And I agree. I feel like a lot of people do take things seriously, but me, in my mentality, I can't speak for every single man, but if I feel like if a woman is doing it all, she got a nice, decent job, she's getting paid, she's living good, that gives me the idea like, oh, like, you still got to think of like God and protect and shield and loving. You got to give those things. You got to, because every man thinks like that. But at the same time, what can I do? You get what I'm saying?
To make my situation better.
I'm not going to sit here and be depressed. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, damn, like, I think that she's better than me. I'm going to do good. I'm going to figure out how I can get on her level. level so that when we both eat, and so that when we both can be like, yo, like, you want to go take a vacation? You want to go ahead and let's go out to eat. You know what? You know, let's go shopping. Like Sunday, we not doing nothing. We going shopping today. All right. Like, you know, you have to figure out how to get on each other's levels and not seeing like, okay, how can I up one on this person or this woman that I'm with? Like, you always got to figure out how can you do better, because, you know, I've seen some celebrities, and we all seen that, like, it can be like Rihanna, for instance. She could probably be dating like a random behind dude, and then out of nowhere, you know, this dude is just regular, but this dude out of nowhere, he's probably supporting her. Now he's managing people. Now he's in the music business. You know, she's helping him. You got to be able to know how to communicate with one another, and you got to know how to lead each other.
Maybe making a positive out of the negative instead of making it
correct
negative, like, or not even negative. Making that situation turn into a positive. Like, babe, what did you do to get to that level, or how can you help me? You know,
or you might know how to, you know, invest it the right way to make way more, but you probably didn't have the means to lay the money out. You know, like if y'all was a like, team, babe, y'all could turn that into an empire. You feel me?
Really. I think that people are scared because so many people have helped people and elevate people, and then they dip out.
It's a lot of fake people.
Yeah. That happened to me a lot of times.
Fake people taking over.
Yeah. It sucks because I've seen men who really invested in their women, and then that woman is, once they get to a certain place in their life and they don't feel like they need them, they dip. Or I've seen women really invest in their men and really get their men elevated, give them all this encouragement, and then their men just dip out on them on to the next, you know, once they get to a certain level. So I think everybody in a relationship is
like you
scared
building them up for the next person.
Like, it's like you scared to, like, I can't even admit in my relationship I'm a little bit timid because I'm like, ooh, if I invest in you and like give you all this energy, you're gonna run off with it, you know what I mean? And if you do, like, and even if I don't feel that, like, I'm fully confident in my love and the love that I get from my partner, but like, things fade, like you said, things change, and I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm in that mode of love and devotion to the person, and then they dip off on me. Like, everybody, I think, is so scared that they don't believe in building their partners anymore. That whole concept is like, girl, you better work on yourself and focus on yourself, which is true. I believe in that too, but I think there should be a balance, because if you are growing, like you said, if you ain't growing together, then you're gonna grow apart. And so, me as a woman, I should want to encourage you. You as a man, you should want to encourage me. So we should grow, and even if it's different in different aspects. You may be emotionally more mature than me, and maybe you can help me grow to that level. I may be more wise in how to maneuver, like, business wise, you know. I can help you build a brand. I can help you build a business. Like, so we should be getting from each other, because then if we do, we never feel like taken advantage of. We never feel like we didn't get anything out of it. Like, at least if we do decide we can't work it out, hey, I know I was grown emotionally from that relationship. You may have grown like a business or whatever, but I got some growth out of it and benefits out of it too. So then I don't feel totally just empty if you leave. I think that's where people kind of don't see the bigger picture. Like, you should leave as feeling just as full at 100% as you came into this relationship, because you were getting from me same at the same time.
And I believe that everybody has a chapter, everybody has a story to tell. But once that person wants to take or be a leech and take everything from you, is like they left. It was something that everybody has a meaning of being on this earth. A lesson. And it's a lesson learned. Like, okay, if I was with this woman, I helped her out. Yeah, I probably loved her and she left me. But hey, look, not saying I did this for you. Like, I don't got to be all cocky about it, anything like that. But it's something I did for you. And it was a meaning behind it. It was a reason why I had to do it, because maybe you're a teacher to her, but you're not just a teacher to her. You're a teacher to everyone. And everybody can learn from you. And it depends, whatever you're doing. You know, so,
and whoever she comes in contact with, because now, you know, and it sucks, but you want to see your harvest once you lay a seed, but sometimes you won't see that. You know, you have to move on to different crops.
Sure. What I learned recently was that people come into your life for a season sometimes, and they're not meant to really be in your life forever. You know, they here to really help you get to that next level in your life, or that next step, or you know, to be that learning lesson. You know what I'm saying? To help you be wiser and to, you know,
to grow.
And that leads me to sometimes I just sit by myself. I'm like, dang, what is love?
Yeah.
Like,
It's different for everybody.
what is
We
that?
don't want to talk about what is love. That was a crazy show. So I just want to have like a couple minutes to have it be an open discussion. Just to like a closing thought from each of us, and then from each of you, and then I'll close out. But I just really like where we've went today and how we've really shared and opened up about our opinions, because I think more conversations like this about men and women will help women to see like they're not all guys are bad. Not all guys want certain things. Like, yeah, they may look at the picture, but even like it, a little heart, but really they want real women who they can grow and learn and build with and love on and be secure with and have things with and have that everlasting love. Because you really have a lifetime partner that you get in a ring with and you fight to the end, not physically, but like you fight and grow and like go through the bad times. But certain things shouldn't go to certain levels, but just know it's going to be a battle. You're going to, as you change and as you're trying to stay on the same level and grow together, you're going to have to go through some things to get to a 50-year marriage or a 40, 30, whatever year marriage. It's not going to be easy. And I think a lot of people tap out of the fight too early, So give me your closing remarks.
I mean, I almost tapped out, but I still got faith out here because I feel like everything I've been through helped me be who I am now, and now I really could see like red flags.
Yeah.
So it's good that I've been through some stuff because I can really
see what not to look for.
Dissect a woman and really figure her out and really see the red flags that I didn't see before. And so if people really pay attention to the red flags, then they wouldn't have to worry so much about are they actions matching their words?
Yeah.
Yeah, she told you she missed you, but she ain't called you in 5 days. Like, you think she miss you? Like, you gonna keep letting her take you through this loop? We gotta pay attention to the red flags. And I mean, I still got faith out here, so.
Me too. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then I totally agree with everything you were saying, and I believe it's where you're from too. Like, I'm from Jersey, and out here living in Arizona now, it's different. So women are a whole lot different. But I feel like nowadays, like, everybody wants to live up to that social media hype. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that have changed over the years, and it's just like I still have faith because there are good women out there. But also it's like I sit back now and I look at things, and I look at life, and I believe like I need to be a student and a teacher to self, because I need to learn what the heck I'm doing, and I need to teach myself like, okay, never do this again. Okay, look at this person and talk to a few other people like how we're talking now. Learn from their mistakes in order to do right when I get into my next relationship. You get what I'm saying? So I believe that I learned a lot, and as I get older, it's like I'm more chill now. I'm not gonna sit there and I still play the field and learn what's going on, but I'm not gonna let the game play me. If you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
and we gotta get therapy, man.
I believe
everybody.
That.
I need therapy. We all need therapy. Like, the world would be a better place
this
if people get therapy. We need therapy. We gotta heal.
You're so
that's a good closing statement.
And you know what? That I have to speak on something, but one thing I will say is, coming from a black man, that is important. Because a lot of black people do not believe in therapy. They don't see the need in it.
We don't know what therapy is.
A lot of them,
to be
but
honest,
it's very important to go to therapy. I think that I was running from certain things in my mind, about how what I went through as a child and so many different things, and until I was forced into therapy, by the way. I'm gonna put that out there. But so my forced therapy definitely helped me because it made me sit down and actually have to confront something that I was running from. Like I was running in a circle, broken, very just like a chicken with their hair cut off, pretending to be put together. But I was needing a lot of help and unbiased help. But therapy definitely changed my perception of life, about myself, about my family, about a lot of different things. And it saved my life ultimately, because I could have went down so many different roads and self-medicated in so many definitely toxic ways. So that was powerful. I just had to speak on that. But my closing remark would be, to know your place, know your assignment. Don't be afraid to alter the assignment, because my old boss used to say this and used to get on my nerves, but it was very important. She used to say, you are, as an individual, are a living manual. Everything is a learning, teaching moment. And as long as you remember that, you will always be growing, elevating. You will always be able to be accountable for your mistakes. You will always be able to take constructive criticism to get to the next level. You are a living manual. Your manual is living as long as you're living, to grow and to learn. So as long as you're taking down information, your manual is going to grow and get bigger. And as long as you realize that things are learning, teaching lessons, learning, teaching moments for you to another person, from another person to you, from a life, you'll always do better. But I want to thank you guys for coming today and talking about this topic.
No problem.
I hope that people understand a little bit better how we're affected in society by how we interact with one another and the roles that we play. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Oral Therapy Podcast.
sure.
The
Thank
best
you.
therapy is oral therapy. Okay? Thank you.
Therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys.